So go and Google this. Scientists right now are working on ways to cure aging, right? They think of aging as a disease. So for some reason, it's afflicted all of us. But
in theory, it's highly unlikely for any disease to afflict 100% of humanity simultaneously. Certain genetic mutations grant immunity or resistance to diseases. In reality, due to genetic diversity, geographical barriers, and the natural dynamics of disease transmission, it's virtually impossible for a disease to infect every single person on Earth. Absolute universality is blocked by biology, geography, and variability in human immune responses.
if they can figure out ways to stop our telomeres from shortening, then it stops aging.
For example, with gene therapy, we'll be able to attack aging at 3 levels. One is telomerase. We know that a cell has a clock. Skin cells divide 60 times, and then they go into senescence, and then they die. Why? The telomeres get shorter and shorter and shorter. It's like a clock. After 60 reproductions, the cell dies. However, we've now discovered telomerase. A Nobel Prize was given for the discovery of telomerase. It stops the clock.
But I would bet money. I would bet money that in, the 200,000 years that humanity has existed on this planet, there has to have been at least 0.01% of human beings that had that mutation where their telomeres did not shorten, could not shorten, and as a result, they never aged. And unless something happened to them, like they got into some kind of accident, they never died. As a result, that is my scientific explanations. I believe that immortals walk amongst us. Why would they not? And if that's the case, like I promise you, there's probably more than 0.01%, and there's probably like a coalition of like super old humans that are actually controlling everything, and we are actually the NPCs, and they're out there just like calling news agencies and starting wars and stuff like that while we're just like trying to survive and like live our lives or whatever. They're literally causing, like they're playing chess with our entire planet because they've been around a lot for like forever, and they've never, like they'll never die unless something happens to them. But there's 7 billion humans alive right now, okay? And we've seen all these sort of variants, right? There's like statistical anomalies that shouldn't exist, but they do exist. We've seen giants, we've seen little people, we've seen people with like more faces, we've seen people with like rare genetic disorders for like fucked up things. Remember how I said that like everything in this world is dual? So if there could be like a disorder that causes like a detrimental, like a really fucked up disease, there has to be genetic disorders that could cause like the complete opposite, where you don't age. I know that there's immortals out there. You might be an immortal. And I'm not talking about what I mean like when I talk about quantum immortality, where it's like consciously, like you just go on. We've already talked about that in other episodes. Please do check those out. Like clearly you are an immortal, but I'm saying like biologically, to be housed in a body that has some rare genetic mutation that it never ages and thus like will never experience death. 100 billion is a lot. You think about the Earth's population right now, we're not even at 10 right now. And think about how many people, and then 100 billion people. Like, even if it's like 0.01%, 0.01% of 100 billion is 10 million. 0.01%. So at least, there have been at least 10 million humans to walk. That's a lot, actually, bruh. 0.01% is 10 million. Immortals? Yo, there's for real, there's got to be for real, like some kind of eyes wide shut secret society somewhere. I'm going to read my thread, what I sent on Threads one more time. You just woke up and found yourself in this world. You have no idea what this world is.